Greetings and happy Monday. Welcome back. My name is Joe Torsicola. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in amazing center of the universe, Brooklyn, New York. So welcome today, and want to continue my discussions about happiness. In the last blog, we were talking about the concept of nothing's more important than you being happy. It affects you, of course, but it affects everyone around you, and it affects the whole world around you. So, just a reminder, it's important that you get to happiness. And so, just curious today. On the subway here, I was thinking about what to blog about. I had a couple ideas, but one really popped into my mind. And so, the question I have right now is, what is one of the biggest blocks to your happiness? And chances are you're not even aware of it. So it's probably a good idea to talk about that for a moment or two today. I remember back when I was younger, and I love my mom, and she's since passed, but I remember many, many years ago, she used to tell me certain things. And those things stuck in my mind. She said, Joe, you're too uncoordinated to ride a motorcycle because you have to shift it. Joe, you can't sing. Joe, you'll always be this or that. Now, maybe I'm just that kind of person, but you throw a challenge at me, I'm going to try and go for it. So, needless to say, over the years, I had to challenge her ideas about me. Because as a young child, we all absorb these ideas from our family, our friends, everybody we know, our teachers, and they're all kind of like opening up our head. And it's a funnel, and they're dumping stuff in. The challenge is we're going along for the ride. We're believing that crap. So there's a concept I remember reading about a number of years ago, and I work with this concept with a lot of my clients, and it's a very important concept to work with. So here's the concept. The concept is called Wanga, and it comes from the African tradition, an African spiritual tradition. Just quickly translated, the word Wanga is a spell. It's a spell. And one of the things the book was talking about is how in that tradition you would spend your life getting rid of your Wanga. Now, what is that? Well, that's all the spells. Everyone is given to you. You go to school and you're automatically pegged as saying you're going to be a good student. You're going to be a not so good student. Okay? You're pegged as you can only do this or you can only do that. Wanga. So I teach my clients how to get rid of the Wanga or forget the Wanga. So now let's take a look at some places where this could be holding you back from getting to happy. Now remember, what's the most important thing? Finding your happiness. So let's talk a little bit about that. One area is in relationships. So that reminds me of a story of a woman who came in and when she was young, a young girl, 4 or 5, her father came home and had a bad day at work, and normally she would come up and give her father a big hug and be very, very happy to see him. And what ended up happening is he brushed her aside this one day, said, not now, and he was really, really angry. He went off his room, he slammed his door, and the little girl was crushed. And on an unconscious level, she made a decision that she wasn't lovable. Fast forward 30 years. How do you think that was impacting her life? Because of that one little small piece of Wanga that was installed at a very, very young age. Okay. Another one is think about your relationship to money. It's all over the place. Money, it's the root of all evil. Wealthy people are no good. 1%ers are evil. Okay, well, all right, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but anyway. But in honesty, holding on to those beliefs which are implanted into us are going to have an unwanted effect upon us. Okay, so here's an exercise you can do. And I think this exercise will be real interesting. You can just take out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down who you are. So if I were to walk up to you and go, who are you? Who are you? And you would put some things down on a piece of paper. Most of the time, and I do this exercise with large groups, people will come up and I'll say, tell somebody, you're one of the questions someone has to ask you is, who are you? And they would ask, and the person goes, well, I'm a financial analyst, or I'm a doctor, or I work for the Department of Sanitation. Really? Is that all you are? Really? Come on, seriously. Is that, and I would say to people, is that the best you can do? Is that really all you are? That the description of who you are and your life view of the world is just based on what you do? Anyway, I had this very, very interesting coworker of mine at one point, and he came up to me one day and he said, Joe, I'm here at work, and this is just what I'm doing, but it's not who I am. And those were really great words of wisdom because he had broken the Wanga. He had made that decision in his life to take care of that. I don't know if he made a conscious effort to do it, but he had the wisdom and wherewithal to do it. And so if I were to ask him who he was, he would come up with a lot more than, well, what I do for a living. So now, we're all affected by this Wanga, okay? Most of us are unaware of it. And for most of us, it keeps us rooted in places and positions that we really don't want to be in. So what to do? What to do? So here you are. Hopefully you're happy. And if not, I can tell you that part of your unhappy comes from the Wanga. That which is implanted to you by teachers, parents, friends. So what to do? Well, the first thing you do is you challenge all your thoughts. Okay, you challenge like, oh, I'm deciding this. What is my belief behind that? And challenge those beliefs. The moment you say, I can't do that, or I should do this, and that's just a couple of examples, there are a lot more examples, that's a sign. That's a sign that there's Wanga floating around here, and you need to really think about doing something about that. And the other important thing is to notice it going on by challenging everything, and then to decide differently. One of the best questions that a person can ask himself is, who do I want to be now? Who am I now sitting here? Who am I? And who do I decide to be? And you can always decide to be different. So, those are the challenges we face with getting to happy. And you know what? Sometimes we need help getting there. So, if this has interested you and piques your interest and you want to get back to the world of happy, certainly feel free to visit my website, www.joetorsicolo.com, and look forward to hearing from you. Have an awesome day, and let's get back to happy.